All right, thanks, Kelly. Tough break for the 28. Let's go racing here at Moto 2. Mike Alessi sweeping around the outside. That is a classic Mike Alessi Holeshot, one of the best in the game as far as starts. And he's got it on the number 800. And Ryan Dungey, who had a terrible start earlier in the first moto, is up front this time.
James Stewart was about second. He got shuffled back a couple positions. And 3-digit up there, too.
There's Stewart on the
207.
7. Stewart is on the 7. The 207 is Sean Collier,
who had, I believe, a top 10 the first moto there, and Andrew Short right up front.
Short on the 29, the red bike there on the right side. Stewart on the yellow, number 7. Dungey on the orange 5. And Alessi trying to get away from them all, leading on the 800. And you got Davey Millsaps, who was second in our race earlier today on the 18, the blue bike. He is there as well, so all the contenders are up front.
Wow, look how wet the track is. It's really slippery. Here's my keys to the race. You gotta get a good start. Talking about the 5 here, Ryan Dungey. He failed to do that the first moto, but rode up into the top 3. You gotta carry your momentum through the turn. Watch how rutted this track is in these turns. You gotta be smooth through those sections.
Battle going on here, Jeff. Millsaps on the 18 gets around Andrew Short and is now going after Stewart. And they were teammates just a few weeks ago on the Joe Gibbs Yamaha team. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, Stewart parting ways with that team. So Millsaps is essentially the team leader now for Gibbs.
Well, and
there they are on the same part of the track.
Yeah, and that was an unprecedented move to switch teams basically in the middle of the season. Right? That really doesn't happen, especially for the caliber of rider that James Stewart is. Things were not clicking between Joe Gibbs Racing and the Yamaha and James Stewart. Both parties agreed to make the switch. A team that James talked about signing with last fall, Yoshimura Suzuki, said, hey, we still want you, jump on the team. Now on Yoshimura Suzuki, went out and won Moto 1 earlier today.
And what's impressive about Stewart's deal, it does not actually begin until 2013. He is basically riding this series voluntarily. He doesn't collect a paycheck from Suzuki until next year. He just wanted to get out here on the bike, basically for pride, and he's going to go for the title. He's racing for the record books, and he's racing to get his motocross legs back underneath him, and he's racing really well. He is now challenging Dungey for the number 2 spot. And we also want to mention that clock on the top of the screen. These races last 30 minutes and 2 laps. So we'll count that clock down to 0 and then put out the 2 laps to go forward.
Yeah, so basically if the leader comes around and it hasn't hit the 30-minute mark and it's close, he goes another lap. So once you hit 30 minutes, the next time the leader comes around, that's when the 2-lap board comes out. And in a case like today in Moto 1, the leader was about 30 seconds. It was about 20 minutes and 30 seconds, so he was close. So they went another, so they ended up going 3 more laps, and it was a long first moto.
This is the battle we all anticipated, Stewart and Dungey, and they are now in the same corner, very nearly the same rut in that corner, battling for this number 2 spot with Alessi in the lead on the Moto Concepts bike.
Coming into this race, Jason, I believe that these 3 were the favorites. Mike Alessi, of course, riding a privateer team, or I should say a support team, Moto Concepts Suzuki this year. But at this track in the opening round, Mike Alessi has had a tremendous amount of success. Even last year was fastest qualifier until he had a massive crash and it derailed him, but he's quick here.
And Mike, so good when he gets a start. He'll make it tough to make passes. Dungey's learning that lesson right now. Dungey also has to worry about Stewart right behind him. Great racing here in this 450 moto. Dungey gonna try the outside line, and Alessi will meet him out there, so Dungey switches back. And look at how rough this track is. Dungey switches up on him again, and this time, he takes the lead.
Makes it look easy, just really set him up nicely. Look at Alessi, he's coming back down the inside.
And he makes the pass, so Alessi, he's no pushover, and since Dungey got pushed over by Alessi, it allows Stewart to close back up.
And that's really the story. Dungey, he needs to get by Alessi right now. These guys are clearly faster than Mike Alessi, and then the race will be on to see who is the fastest guy here today, because Stewart won the race. Moto 1 pretty easily. Dungey had a ride from outside the top 10, came up to 3rd. So it's going to be a real showdown between the 2010 champion, Ryan Dungey, and the 2008 champion, James Stewart.